Hey everyone, I am Mr. Broke Bradley. Let's not waste any time and jump straight into it.
You have $1,000 sitting in your account right now. Maybe you saved it over several months, maybe it was a bonus, maybe you sold something. However it got there, it is there, and right now it is doing absolutely nothing for you. It is not growing, it is not protecting you, it is not building your future. In fact, with inflation running at roughly 3 to 4% annually, that $1,000 is silently losing purchasing power every single day. That means by doing nothing, you are already losing money, slowly, quietly, invisibly. So the question is not whether to do something with your first $1,000. The question is what to do and in what order. And by the end of this video, you will have a clear, honest, and step-by-step answer. Before we talk about growing your $1,000, we need to talk about the single most important thing to do with it first, and most people skip this step entirely. Before you invest a single dollar, before you put money into anything, you need a financial safety net. Because here's what happens to people who invest before they have a safety net. One single emergency wipes out everything they invested. A study by the Federal Reserve found that nearly 40% of working adults cannot cover an unexpected $400 expense without borrowing money or selling something. 40%, $400. Let that number sit with you for a moment. So, before anything else, before any investment, your first priority with that $1,000 is to start building what is called an emergency fund. An emergency fund is money you do not touch, ever, unless something genuinely urgent and unavoidable happens. Not for a sale, not for a new phone, not because you really want something. Financial experts universally recommend having 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved as your emergency fund target. If your monthly expenses are $2,000, your emergency fund target is between $6,000 and $12,000. Your first $1,000 is the beginning of that fund. Not the whole thing, just the critically important beginning. Put this money in a separate savings account, completely separate from your everyday spending account, so you're never tempted to dip into it. Now, let's say you already have your emergency fund started. What is the second most powerful thing you can do with your $1,000? Invest it in yourself, specifically in a skill that directly increases your earning power. Here's a real example. The median salary for someone without a professional certification in the United States is around $42,000 a year. Add a professional certification in project management, data analysis, or digital marketing, and that number jumps to between $60,000 and $80,000 annually. That's an increase between $18,000 and $38,000 annually from a certification that costs between $300 and $1,000 to obtain. This is what investors call return on investment, and a skill certification can deliver a return that almost no financial product in the world can match. Platforms like Coursera, Udemy, and LinkedIn Learning offer professional certifications for between $0 and $1,000, many with globally recognized credentials. If you're going to spend part of your first $1,000 anywhere, spending it on a skill that earns you more for the rest of your working life is arguably the highest returning decision you can make.
Now we get to the chapter that most people think about first, but which actually comes third. And that is using your money to start building assets. An asset is simply anything that puts money into your pocket, consistently, over time, without requiring you to physically show up every single day. With $1,000, you cannot buy a rental property, but you absolutely can start building asset foundations that grow over time. Option 1. Start a micro business. And before you say you have no idea what business to start, listen carefully. A micro business is simply a small business that requires minimal startup capital, and there are proven models that work consistently for ordinary people. Service businesses, where you sell your time and skill to solve a specific problem for a specific person, can be started for under $100. A freelance writer starting with 0 clients can earn between $500 and $3,000 per month within 90 days, according to data from Upwork and Fiverr market reports. A cleaning service started with $200 in supplies can generate between $1,500 and $4,000 per month, serving just 8 to 12 regular clients. Option 2. Build a digital product, something you create once and sell repeatedly without any additional time investment after creation. An ebook on a topic you know well, a template pack for a common business need, an online course teaching a skill you already have. Platforms like Gumroad and Etsy allow creators to sell digital products with zero upfront cost, meaning your $1,000 is not even needed to start. In fact, your $1,000 in this context is best used to learn how to market your digital product, which is the skill that turns a product from invisible to profitable. Now we reach the chapter on investing, and I need to be completely clear with you before we go any further. What you are about to hear is general financial education only. It is not personal financial advice. And before making any investment decision, you should consult a qualified financial advisor. With that said, let us talk about what investing actually means, because most people have a completely distorted picture of it. The stock market, at its simplest, is a place where ordinary people can buy small ownership stakes in real businesses. When those businesses grow and become more profitable, the value of your ownership stake grows with them. Historically, over any 20-year period in recorded market history, diversified ownership in broad market indexes has produced positive returns for patient investors. The key word there is patient, because short-term market movements are unpredictable, but long-term ownership in real productive businesses has historically rewarded patience. With $1,000, you can open a brokerage account with many regulated platforms and begin building a diversified ownership portfolio starting with as little as $1 per position. But remember, investing comes fourth, after your emergency fund, after your skill investment, and after your first asset-building step.
Let me tell you about two people, both of whom received exactly $1,000 at the same time, and what happened to each of them over the following 5 years. Person A spent the $1,000 on things that felt good in the moment, new clothes, dining out, a weekend trip, and within 60 days, the money was gone. Person B split the $1,000 deliberately, $500 to an emergency fund, $250 to a professional certification, and $250 to starting a freelance service. At the end of year 1, Person A had $0 saved and was in the same financial position as before. Person B at the end of year 1 had a $500 emergency fund, a new certification, and a freelance income of between $800 and $1,500 per month. By year 3, Person B's freelance income had grown to between $2,000 and $4,000 per month, and they had begun investing a portion of that income consistently. By year 5, Person B had built a side income generating between $3,000 and $6,000 per month, an emergency fund fully funded, and a growing investment portfolio. Same starting point, same $1,000, 5 years apart, completely different financial realities. The difference was not luck. The difference was not income. The difference was a deliberate decision about what to do with $1,000. Let us bring everything together because today we covered a lot of genuinely important ground. Step 1. Build your emergency fund first, a minimum of $1,000 before anything else moves. Step 2. Invest in a skill that directly increases what you can earn. The return on that investment will outperform almost anything else available to you right now. Step 3. Start building an asset, a service business, a digital product, a skill-based income stream that earns beyond your primary job. Step 4. Once steps 1 through 3 are in motion, begin learning about and participating in long-term ownership investing, with patience and with professional guidance. $1,000 is not a small amount, it's a beginning. And beginnings in the hands of deliberate people become things that change entire financial lives. If this video gave you clarity, share it with someone who has been sitting on their first $1,000 and doesn't know what to do with it, because the right information at the right time genuinely changes lives. Subscribe to FinWise Edge. Every week we bring you financial education built on real data and real strategies. And next week we're covering a topic that affects every single working person who wants to grow their income beyond their salary.
Bye-bye!